So for more, it's a pleasure to welcome Dr. Camilla Forkosh-Lavan, practicing psychologist and organizational consultant, joining us from Jerusalem. Camilla, it's so nice to be talking about a positive story. These results may surprise many given the current security and political tensions in the country, and one needs to reiterate the research was conducted between 2020 and 2022. What do you see as the main reasons Israelis are so happy right now?
I think that in general, culturally, there's something going on that's very interesting in Israel that often actually confuses immigrants, is the directness. So often it is confused for being rude, but really it's just being direct, meaning if someone will have an issue with you, they will assume that you are an adult and you will talk to them about it and you will just hash it out right there, and you can talk about whatever it is, hug each other and go drink a cup of coffee. That basically takes down a lot of the residual tension and turmoil that people often will go through on how to handle a specific issue, and then basically cooking within the issue by themselves.
Now, many would suggest the results would be different if the research was conducted amidst this widespread political response to the country's overhaul plans. And I suppose these demonstrations themselves are a form of expression, as you are describing. Help us unpack more about these expressive personality traits of Israelis, their ability not only to share their views and be assertive, as you describe it, but also to just move on afterwards.
I think first of all, as always, I really love your topics because they're so important. And I think that culturally, in general, we see a lot of the values around the family and around the little things, and the ability to just in the middle of the day sit down and drink a cup of coffee or a cup of tea, just literally take a little moment, kind of like, what we do on Saturday. Often many people do, even the non-religious ones will take a minute, take that Saturday out, or like in the middle of the week, sometimes even a day now with a hybrid ability to work as hybrid situation, to just take time to go to the ocean or just sleep in a little bit or spend some time with your children or your family or your loved ones, friends, or by yourself. There's a little bit more of a balance. Also, the way the country, if you look around the country, literally the way it's built around children, right? There's a lot of playgrounds and a lot of abilities to raise children, right? You can take them to the university as a parent and carry them and study with them together, or to work or something like that. So like there's a lot of values that are grounded, that helps a person be more resilient and have a better support system. So in addition to being supported in like speaking your mind and saying what you want, even if people don't agree with you, but they will listen to you and even argue with you or whatever, but people will be there, right? So like you're not as isolated, and I think that that's very, very important. And also, of course, self-care, as we just spoke.
You talk about the way Israelis prioritize the younger generation, the family values. Talk to us also about the way young people in the country are able to move around, to walk, to cycle, to go to a park, to be as young as 9 years old and to walk and cross the street. It doesn't happen in many countries in the world. How does this factor into the way people are enjoying their lives in the country?
Oh, very much so, right? Because you as a child are treated with respect towards going to be an adult, yeah? In terms of you giving responsibilities, of course, age appropriately, but it is there, and the country in general is safe, and people will look after someone else's child. If they see that something is inappropriate, they will jump in and they will help out. And I think that gives a certain, like a family feeling all over the country, even again with, often sometimes even a little bit of a maybe dysfunctional family where you do argue and don't understand each other, but at the same time, you do have the freedom to be you, and people will take care of you. And that's a very, very nice thing. Also for the parents to know that you can send your child and relatively they'll be safe. And for the child, of course, to feel like it's okay. I feel at home in my own country. I can cross the street. I can go to the playground, bicycle or whatever. It's beautiful. Very refreshing.
And just looking very briefly at some of the other results, Finland is first, then Denmark, then Iceland, and then Israel. America's 15th, Britain 19th, and France 21st. Very briefly, a lot is being made of Finland's focus on being outdoors, forests, lakes, as well as their well-functioning public services and their trust in authority, low levels of crime. Very briefly, what are they getting right? What should the rest of the world be trying to do that Finland is ticking its box with?
So Finland has actually something that we already also are doing, right? Which is also going outdoors. Outdoors in general, there's a lot of research on the color green and seeing nature, right? And we have
Right.
tendency at home plants and things like that. That increases our mood. Exposure to sun, to light, right? To be able to, again, you go outside, it's like a hypnotic state, a semi-hypnotic meditative state, to just
Right.
walk, just to disappear. It cleans your mind. It allows your brain to function better, to restructure itself better, to be healthier. So
Right.
these kinds of things, also socially, again, I hope psychology will be more and more available socially. We see it also in Israel, right? Where meditative techniques are being taught in schools, in Finland as
Right.
well. Like those kinds of self-care things are so important.
Dr. Camilla Forkos-Levin, thank you for breaking that down. Thank you for giving us a reason to put a smile on our faces as well. And let's hope that everybody around the globe has reason to keep smiling. Thank you so much for joining us live from Jerusalem. That's a wrap for now. I'm Benita Levin in Tel Aviv. Back in a bit. Stay tuned. Keep smiling.